Have you wondered why we see wars, judgments, and punishments in the Old Testament? A picture of a seemingly harsh and angry God. But the New Testament reveals Jesus who heals the sick, forgives sinners, and welcomes the outcast. A picture of love, compassion, and mercy. This is the reason people ask, has God changed? But here's the truth. God has never changed. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. His nature has always been both holy and loving, just and merciful. In the Old Testament, we often see God revealing his justice. Because sin had to be confronted, he was showing humanity how serious sin truly is, that it destroys life, relationships, and creation itself. Yet even then, God's mercy was woven through every story. Remember Noah? After judgment, God gave a new beginning. Remember Israel? Even after rebellion, God restored them again and again. That's not anger without love. That's love with holiness. Now, in the New Testament, that same holy love takes on a human form, Jesus Christ. He didn't come to cancel God's justice. He came to fulfill it. God presented Christ as a sacrifice of atonement, through the shedding of his blood, to be received by faith. Romans 3 verses 25 to 26. He did this to demonstrate his righteousness, because in his forbearance he had left the sins committed beforehand unpunished. He did it to demonstrate his righteousness at the present time, so as to be just and the one who justifies those who have faith in Jesus. This verse is powerful. It shows that the cross is where justice and mercy meet. God didn't overlook sin. He judged it, but on Jesus. And in doing so, he proved that the seemingly angry God of the Old Testament is the same loving God who took our punishment himself in the person of Jesus. Let's look closer. In the Old Testament, God said to Moses, Exodus 34 verses 6 to 7, the Lord God, merciful and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness. That's not an angry God. That's a patient, loving, holy God revealing his character. And in the New Testament, Jesus says, John 14 verse 9, he that has seen me has seen the Father. So if you've seen Jesus forgive, heal, and restore, you've seen the Father's heart all along. The cross wasn't a contradiction. It was a continuation. The same God who judged sin in the Old Testament became the sacrifice in the New. That's not a God who changed. That's a God who came closer. God's justice reveals his love. If God didn't hate sin, he wouldn't be loving, because sin destroys everything he loves. Every act of judgment in the Old Testament came from the same heart that sent Jesus to die for us. He wasn't trying to scare us. He was trying to save us. Through Christ, the justice that once required death now gives us life. The wrath we deserve became the grace we received. And that's why Jesus could cry, "It is finished." The anger of God against sin was satisfied by his own love. The judge took the judgment. The Creator took the curse.